Several years ago, I was exactly where you might be right now, looking at the Tampa Bay area from the outside, trying to figure out if this was the right move for me. And so I get it. Relocating isn't just about finding a house. It's about understanding a whole new market, a whole new community, a whole new way of life. I'm Roy Fillyaw, and since I made that move myself, I've helped dozens of families relocate to the Tampa Bay area. And what I've learned is that the families who have the smoothest transitions, who end up loving it here, are the ones who had someone who really understood both the process and the area. Relocating successfully is about having the right information and making informed decisions from day one. Whether you're moving here for work, for the lifestyle, or because you're just tired of dealing with the snow, this is the conversation we need to have. Let me start with the mistakes I see people make, because honestly, I made some of these myself when I first moved here. Biggest mistake: choosing a neighborhood based on what looks good online instead of understanding what your daily life is actually going to be like. I had a client last year who fell in love with a house near the beach. Beautiful property, great price, but they didn't realize that their commute to downtown Tampa was going to be 45 minutes each way in traffic. 6 months later, they wanted to move again. And so when I work with relocating families now, we don't just look at houses. We map out your entire lifestyle. Where are you going to work? Where are your kids going to school? Where do you want to spend your weekends? The second mistake is not understanding the cost of living in different areas. I know it's not the most exciting topic, but it's vital to planning your move. And depending on where you choose to live, those costs can vary significantly. You have to consider the average home price, insurance costs, association fees if you're in an HOA, and taxes. The third mistake, and this is a big one, is not having a local team in place before you start looking. You know, when you're relocating, you need people who understand the local market, who can move quickly when the right property comes up. I've seen families lose out on perfect properties because they were trying to coordinate everything from out of state with agents who didn't really understand the urgency of relocation timelines. Now let's talk about neighborhoods, because this is where local knowledge really matters. If you're looking for that established, walkable neighborhood feel, the median single-family home price in Old Northeast is above $1 million, but the community, the lifestyle, the long-term value appreciation, it's been one of the most consistent performers in our market. Now, if you're moving here with school-age kids and you want some of the best public schools in the area, South Tampa is where a lot of families end up. Hyde Park, Palmacia, these are established neighborhoods with great schools and easy access to downtown. You're also looking at median home prices of $1 million or above, depending on the specific area and what you want. Here's something a lot of relocating clients or investors should consider. If you want to be in the heart of it all, downtown St. Pete and Tampa both have many condo buildings to choose from. Our condominiums give homeowners the opportunity to live in luxury buildings with every amenity you can think of and zero maintenance. You can enjoy your free time in paradise. These buildings range in price, location, views, and amenities. There are also several name-branded condos available and coming to the area. The Waldorf Astoria, for example, is now in pre-construction sales in downtown St. Pete and will bring a new level of luxury. And so when I'm working with relocating clients, we spend time talking about what matters most to you. Is it the commute, the schools, the lifestyle, the long-term investment potential? Because there is no perfect neighborhood, but there is a perfect neighborhood for you. So let's talk numbers, because this is where being analytical really helps with relocation planning. If you're moving from somewhere like New York or California, Tampa or St. Pete is going to feel like a bargain. But if you're coming from the Midwest or Southwest, you might be surprised by some of the costs here. Housing costs are obviously the big one. The average home price in Pinellas County, where St. Pete is located, last month was just over $500,000. The average home price in Hillsborough County, where Tampa is located, was $524,000 last month. And remember, you need to factor in insurance costs, which can add a significant amount per month to your housing expenses and can vary based on flood risk and construction standards. But here's the good news. Florida has no state income tax, so depending on where you're moving from and your situation, that could save you thousands of dollars per year. Other costs to consider: Dining out is generally reasonable, especially compared to major metropolitan areas. Utilities can be higher in the summer because of air conditioning, but many newer homes are very energy efficient. Transportation costs depend on where you live and work. If you live close to where you work, or you can take advantage of some of the public transportation options, your costs will be lower. But most families end up needing reliable transportation. And so when we're planning your relocation, we look at the full picture, not just the house payment, but insurance, taxes, utilities, transportation, all of it. Here's what a successful relocation timeline looks like. 3 or more months before your move, this is when we start the conversation. We're talking about neighborhoods. We're getting you pre-approved with local lenders who understand the market. We're starting to look at properties online so you understand what's available in your price range. 2 to 3 months before, this is when we plan your house hunting trip. And I always recommend at least a long weekend, preferably 4 to 5 days, so we can see multiple neighborhoods at different times of day. You want to experience the commute, see what the area feels like on a Tuesday morning versus a Saturday afternoon. And 1 to 2 months before, hopefully we've found your property and we're under contract. This is when we're coordinating inspections, appraisals, all of the details that need to happen for a smooth closing. And finally comes moving month. We're closing on your property, coordinating your move, helping you get connected with utilities, schools, all the things that make a house feel like a home. But here's the thing, and this goes back to having the right team. Successful relocations don't end at closing. I stay in touch with my relocating clients because I know you're going to have questions about everything from where to get your car registered to finding a good physician or gym. If you want to dive deeper, you want someone who's going to take the time to really help you understand the neighborhoods and communities. Reach out. Let's schedule time to talk, because at the end of the day, this isn't about just finding a house. It's about finding the best location to call home. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.